Hello, everyone. We're here. We're back. We're ready to go. Finally. My sincerest apologies for the last few weeks of inactivity. Well, for the D&D game anyway. 2 weeks ago, family emergency. There wasn't much I could do there. And last week, I just genuinely felt like shit. Not because I'd been drinking a lot of alcohol the night before, and I mean a lot of alcohol the night before. Today, actually, I'm not feeling the best. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I do have quite a bit of a migraine, so I will try my best to keep the game going for as long as possible and hopefully not have to bounce out too early because lights are a bit bright, I'm afraid. But I'm going to swap over and hopefully not have to update anything. No, it's actually fine for almost fine first try. Let me shift that up a little bit. Okay, I've got a bit of an echo here somewhere. Is someone just hosted me? Hold on a second, guys. I'll be 2 seconds. What the fuck? Okay, that's interesting. I think I was watching a friend of mine's stream, and I think they may have auto-hosted me. So I was watching it in my bed not that long ago, and I think they might have auto-hosted me. But yeah. Oh well, let me go and bring everyone in.
Because he goes speeding around the house. He catches flies. He is the coolest duck.
The coolest duck.
The coolest duck that catches flies.
Yes.
Things are never uninteresting when I bring Undeaf in the chat and you're telling a story.
Yes. It's either that or I tell the story about my coloring book.
You're not telling the story about your coloring book, not on stream anyway, because that's NSFW.
Yes, sir.
That'll get me banned, and I don't want that.
Oh. I'll show it after the stream.
Well, you can tell everyone about it. You're just not allowed to show it. But anyway, everyone's here. Everyone's good to go. Yeah, no, yay, nay.
Yeah.
Yay!
I think so. I was just reading up some notes.
Cool.
Hi, buddy.
Kayla, you good to go? I mean, you're dead, so... There we go, that's what I'm waiting for. Anyway, continue on from where we last played. If you remember from 3 weeks ago now, you'd managed to load up into the Roll20, everyone, and make your way up to the Whitestone Castle, where you had been given an invitation to go and speak to the Lord and Lady Briarwood, Silas and Delilah Briarwood. There you'd made your intent known that you would like to have them as allies in the upcoming fight for Akrai, and explained the situation that's going on there, and they explained their own standpoint, that they are in a little bit of a political war of attrition at the moment, trying to increase their own affluence everywhere they can. And before they actually agreed to provide you any aid, that they wanted to see that you are actually capable of winning this fight for themselves. So they opened up a portal and put you into what seemed to be a dungeon of sorts. There, scattered around, were a lot of corpses, and at the back was what looked to be a skeletanoid figure that had some very strange-looking purple drab on, and it turned out that this creature, as you now all know as players, was a grim jester. However, during the fight, there were losses taken on both sides, as before the final blow was struck on this grim jester, the Jester's abilities, can't actually remember what the thing's called now, forced the healing magic that was going to be used on Coralina to accidentally kill her. The, what's it called? The Ridicule Hope, that's the one. In fact, dealt the final blow, and Coralina currently lies dead on the cold stone floor of this dungeon room. And that's where we'll pick up for the session. So, what do you guys want to do?
I've got a
Neftari,
suggestion.
Yeah, go for it, Temple.
Well, don't let me stop what Neftari's doing, but Temple would instinctively, as a paladin, heal a damn wizard.
Okay, and how are you going to do that?
Oh no, this is where you've got something prepared for me. Like, haha, you can't actually do that. I would use, where's it gone? Revivify.
Revivify at 3rd level, and
Yes, I would consume diamonds, which I have. Yeah, there it is. I've got
diamonds, 600 gold pieces
of
worth.
diamond.
Yep, I do see that. So, as you, where is it? Just one action. Seeing everything that's happened before you, for the sake of brevity and getting to Neftari, we'll say that you're currently going through your pack, trying to gather the diamonds. What was it that you were wanting to do before this goes down, Neftari?
Neftari drops to the floor, and all fours, and howls.
I'm going to turn you up a little bit because you're really quiet, David. There we go. So just dropped to all fours and then head back like a wolf and just howl in just anguish that this has happened. As the as you all kind of, as the two of you, Temple and Victorious, as you glance to between Neftari and the unmoving dead form of Corleone on the ground, you do hear that the howl gets, instead of going to a high pitched, gradually gets lower and lower pitched. Both of you give me perception checks.
Natural one.
Natural one. A 12 and a 10. That's all that matters. On a 10, Temple, you can see, like, as the pitch of Neftari's howl gets lower and lower, you can see the somewhat bright light that the torches are giving out in this room actually starts to dim, and the torchlight begins to flicker in a very strange way that you haven't really seen before, almost like perhaps Neftari might even be causing this. Victorious, what you see this also, but as you glance to Neftari, as he slowly kind of crawls his way over to the unmoving corpse of Coralina, you actually see that his eyes have changed from a very bright yellow with an outer ring of orange. Think like the irises of the Sith from Star Wars, like that very vibrant yellow in the center of the iris, surrounding the pupil with like a dull orange going towards the outside of the iris. You can see his eyes.
Sword of Omen's lion-o eyes, but much the same thing.
Yeah, much the same thing. But you do notice that has happened. That has happened to Neftari as he slowly crawls his way to the unmoving corpse that is Coralina. Temple, I'd like you to call high or low, please, as you cast your Revivify.
Hi.
That is, those are my 2d10s. Cool. All right, cool. As you... Sorry, I just had to double check that in case I'm going blind, but I'm not blind. As you kind of glance over, you see Neftari slowly crawling his way to Coralina. You scatter the, well, not scatter, but you like place the diamonds ritualistically around Coralina as you then grasp to your holy symbol and utter your prayer to Neftari, to Nerul, to understand that this was not a natural death. This was the cause of this was from a very demonic being that had no right to take to rip the soul from this body and to welcome her back to the land of living. Go ahead and remove the 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds. Expend your third level spell slot. Coralina, you are unconscious, but you are at 1 HP. Neftari, I would like you to go ahead and roll me a medicine check, please. Natural 20. As you finally close the distance, you kind of like tears starting to stream down your eyes, the anger and anguish just welling up inside you. You glance down and it just takes you a fraction of a second to actually realize that she is, whatever Temple has done, Coralina is now breathing. But it's still going to be there in the back of your head that you did this.
Seeing that Coralina has come back, I'm going to just wait for Temple to kind of regain standing position from casting the spell.
Mm-hmm.
Temple, may I borrow you just for a moment? These two may need a second or two alone.
Absolutely. Just one more thing. This isn't all I have left. I cast a second level Cure Wounds, which is my last remaining spell slot of any kind.
Okie doke, that'll be 2d8 plus 1 to roll, please.
2d8 plus 1, so a bit above 1 HP. Because, I mean, someone might sneeze and that could do the 1 HP.
Well, maybe.
How'd your wizard die, Corona?
Oh, no.
How'd your wizard die? The common cold.
Oh, shit.
Another d8. It's 2d8. You only rolled 1d8,
Oh, sorry.
Ellen. It's
Yeah,
2d8.
okay.
So one more d8, please. So that's 6. You're getting 6 HP total. So you're at 7 HP, but you're still unconscious for... do this one. The next 9 minutes of in-game time, of course. Yeah, as you cast your second level Cure Wounds, expending your last spell slot available to you, there's a soft light, white glow that emits from your hands as you place your hands down onto Coralina's shoulders, and some of the wounds on her body begin to stitch up and seal closed. For Neftari's finally closes the distance and picks up the unconscious form and just embraces her as you slowly step away, making your way. I'm assuming you're going to make your way over to Victorious as he's beckoned you over.
Yes.
All right, the scene is yours.
I look down at the form of this jester thing.
Mm-hmm.
Has it still got its arrow through its head?
It does, but you do see that there's a very thick black-looking ichor underneath the body of this jester that seems to be slowly dissolving it from the bottom up.
So, as Temple approaches, I'm just going to look down, tap the head of this thing. Would you do the honors? And I'm going to gesture with my foot in a stampy motion.
It's a very base instinct, but it is a deserving one. Temple's going to kneel down on one knee and crush his head with his hands.
Okay.
Like Game of Thrones, the mountain.
And with the mountain, yeah, okay. So yeah, you get down on your knees and clench the skull and just squeeze as hard as you can. Go ahead and roll me a strength check, please. Ooh, 9. Let's see here. Where's my d20? And checking that. Even on a 9, no, yeah, you are like you do feel the skull itself is already quite weakened as you've just spent a few minutes in combat with it, and you just squeeze down. Eventually, just crunch down. The skull doesn't splinter into like dust, but multiple pieces as you take your hands away from it, and the fragments just scatter onto the ground into that black ichor, and you just see black hints of steam and smoke rise up as the skull fragments begin to dissolve in this black liquid before it.
Thank you.
That fight was fun.
Call it fun as such. Necessary, maybe.
I'm not so sure. I feel the same. Base instincts and all, something just right in there really wants to fight.
Well, that's going to be useful in the coming weeks and months. Keep hold of that feeling. And I'm going to slowly make my way towards the door that we came in.
There was no door, it was a portal, and that portal is not there at the moment.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, in which case, I'm just going to rest. Bow on ground. Position.
All right.
Give a glance over to Neftari and Corley.
Few minutes go by, and Coralina, the other world seems to fade in from darkness around you as you wake up from unconsciousness. Neftari, you're currently cradled in Neftari's arms.
What happened?
What have I done? It was my fault.
Coralina, go ahead and roll me an
You weren't
insight
upset
check.
by me? Okay.
16. Something bad happened. You remember being in combat. You remember being struck and everything going dark. And then just darkness for a period of time after that. You don't know how long it lasted until you woke up.
All right. I'm just gonna try to like get up a little bit, but I'm not like trying to get out of his hold.
Mm-hmm.
But just like more to look around, almost doing like a head count of like, okay, Vic and Temple are fine. I seem to be okay. You're okay.
You died. And I killed you.
What?
My fault.
Um.
And that's one way.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Well, it seems I'm back. So either you did something or Temple did something.
Temple saved you.
Okay. You're gonna assume you didn't mean it on purpose, right?
Of course not. I tried to heal you and it reversed the spell again, and I almost killed
Have I
everybody.
seen this? Have I seen? During my time in battle, did
You
Grim
did.
Jester do something similar to that?
The Grim Jester did that effect right at the start, near the start of the fight, and you did see it happen.
That's okay. So, did you learn something from this?
I thought I'd lost you. I love you. I couldn't live without you.
Um. Ooh, so it'll be it'll be okay. As long as Temple's got diamonds, I'm still around.
At what point, DM, did have the torches returned to their normal?
The
state?
torches have like the flickering effect and the dimming of the light seem to only last while Neftari seem to be like howling in anguish after the realization settled in that Corlina was alive again. It did seem to settle down and return to normal.
Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So-
is it? I'm assuming it's dead, right?
We
It's
can
dead. And you're not. That's all that matters.
Well, I guess it wasn't strong enough. So, take solace in that.
So is Neftari aware that this weird thing happened with
go ahead and roll me I'll say a perception check at disadvantage. So, with everything that just happened, the fact that you... 2 9s to make it 16. You were aware of your vision going almost like tunnel vision. The peripheral of your vision seemed to go quite dark as you began to approach Coralina's corpse at the time. So you could assume that something like you caused something to happen as you were in your moment of grieving. Can't say for certain that you're aware of it though. We'll say it's about this time after you've had your individual conversations. I will say Victorious and Temple, as you guys are like watching the bubbling, fragmented skull and bones and sinew and clothing of this jester slowly disappear into this black ichor. The same looking, well, it's a more of a emerald, jade-colored portal erupts in the very southern wall, similar to the one that you had used to enter this area. Nothing steps through, but it is there for you if you would like to use it.
Turn to Temple. Well, I'm hoping that's going to take us back to the real world. There's a chance it won't. Should we prepare for something else?
DM, is this portal in any way similar to the portal that we went through to get
Yes, very similar. But again, it is just a portal, so you have no idea who made it, where it comes from, where it leads to. Nothing. It's just a portal.
As it's the same kind of portal that bring us here, it would be rational to assume it's a way back out now that we've proven ourselves. Gestures broadly at everything.
Okay, we should go to.
But of course, this could just be the start of proving ourselves.
I'll make my way over slowly towards Neftari and Corin.
Mm-hmm.
Are you both okay?
Other than being dead twice, yeah, I think so.
Not my fault, I swear.
I mean, okay, out of character, can I get one of those little punch cards that's like every time I die, I can get like on the...
Yeah, if you die 6 times, your 7th death is for free. Yay! Yes, no, I'll print that off. No, it'll be, you've been revived 6 times, so your 7th revive is free.
Yes!
Let's play the bingo board. Carolina dies. Right.
How are you both doing? Injury-wise, I mean, not too great.
I've probably bled on this cloak. I think Clara might be a little bit upset.
I will cast 3rd level Cure Wounds on Carolina.
3rd level cure wounds, that would be the D8 plus 1, I believe, from yourself. Yes, 3d8 plus 1. An extra 13 HP healed, Coralina.
I can move.
Yay! Alright, so with the healing
I'll also cast a 3rd level cure wounds as well.
on Coralina.
Yeah. How's everybody else actually as well? We were pretty at the end of that, weren't we? It was coming close to. The last spell I cast was 7th level mass cure wounds, and unfortunately it was.
There was 30 odd points of damage to everyone. Yes.
Right. So, but that would have been pretty good if it hadn't been reversed. I mean,
yeah, it would have been all right if it hadn't been messed with, but no. Looking around, Victorious has seen better days, but doesn't look too bad. You know yourself how you feel. Temple is quite badly buckled and beaten at times.
Temple doesn't show signs of exhaustion, but looking at him, pretty badly beaten up.
Yeah, like
sort of hanging off.
Yeah, so some plates are hanging off. There's very large dents and grooves into the armor plates across his body. His shield looks like it's taken a hell of a beating. And, you know, Coralina before you is just been brought back from death, so, you know.
Okay, I rolled 11, so that's another 11.
Alright, so another 11 HP back for you, Coralina.
We
No, I'm very good to move.
we need to get out of here, but that portal may or may not lead back to where we came from. There's every chance there's somewhere else they want.
Well, I have some bad news. I can't plane shift us back because I blew my spell slot to, you know, try to kill that thing. So, however, DM, do I know if I can discern where portals go, or at least like basic locations, at least planar wise?
Not from just looking at a basic portal. The portal is very nondescript. It's a color of, you know, planar energy. There's nothing that can just glancing at it, there's nothing that'll be like, oh yeah, this will take us to this exact location. Nothing like that. It's literally just a portal of colored planar energy.
I mean, we go through it, and if worse comes to worse, all we gotta do is survive a night, and I can get us back.
Okay. Well, there's clearly only one way out of here. I'm going to walk back over to Temple, just put a hand on Temple's shoulder, and blow my last 3rd level spell slot for another cure wounds on Temple.
Another 3d8 plus 1, please.
Three.
38 plus
38.
1. Nice.
38. Wow.
Very nice. Better. Temple, that's 21 HP return to you.
Okay.
So we did tell them to have breakfast ready for when we got back, didn't we?
No.
You really want something that bad?
I'm sure the last thing I said before we went through the portal was smoke me a kipper and I'll be back for breakfast.
Alright, so what are you guys wanting to do? You just going through the portal or?
Did Coralina not just summon a smoked kipper?
I did.
You did. Sorry, I was reading something there. So yes,
Didn't hear that. Sure.
with a well, actually, have you tasted smoked kipper before?
I am assuming a kipper is a fish. I've had fish before.
Yeah,
It may not
but
necessarily be a kipper, but it's a fish.
you know what? High or low, please, Carolina.
Low.
Low. You kind of think to yourself what this could possibly mean. It's some kind of fish. Snap your fingers, and as you hold your hands out expectantly, Neftari, to have a nice big smoked kipper dropped in your hands, a tiny little singular sardine drops into your hands.
I have no idea what a fucking kipper is. We don't have those where I come from.
Oh,
Roll-
yeah, so good.
I rolled an 84, alright? Leave me alone.
It's going to be that anyway. No, don't even want.
Just gone.
Not even going to chew.
Alright. So you guys making your way through the portal?
Yep. I'll head over without
Yep.
hesitation. Go through.
Alright, cool. 21, 17, 15, 16. Cool. Yeah, no, as you're all like slowly making your way over to the portal, some of you limping, like, you know, just in pain and aches as you make your way through, you glance over to your right towards where the Jester fell and see that the black pool has now seemingly completely dissipated, and what was there of the Jester is now completely gone. You step through the portal, there's the familiar feeling of being squeezed tight, the air escaping your lungs as you're bathed in a soft green glow. As you finally step out, you see yourself returned to the very familiar looking visage of the Whitestone Castle war room, where there Silas and Delilah Briarwood are stood there, arms crossed, looking expectantly at the portal, and as you all step through, you're all alive. Very interesting. I'm going to assume that it's dead, then.
Assuming that thing can die.
It is dead. At least it disintegrated.
Oh,
The most fun I've had in a long time.
did it dissolve?
Yes, into some sort of
Hmm.
black sludge.
Then it will be back at some point.
Ooh.
Yes, that being, that jester, doesn't die unless some sick god of death deems its death to be funny. And no one has managed to do that yet. So it will probably be back, whether it's here or somewhere else in the plains, I do not know, but it will be back. But you're alive. That means something does not do. Delilah kind of crossed her arms and yes, shows some promise, I guess. Was there any fatalities amongst yourselves? And be honest. I know you do have a paladin. Did anyone die?
At my own hands.
Oh, so
It was
the
quite
jester,
fascinating.
the jester forced your hand into killing your friend.
That spell that was supposed to cure everyone. Almost killed everyone.
Yes, yes, it does. It does enjoy messing with people.
If
But
only
you're
we
all
could
here.
somehow weaponize magic like that without the need for this horrible jester. That would be truly wonderful.
Oh, it would, but at the same time, it would be very dark magic to do something like that. To turn healing magic into harmful killing magic. Consider if you were trying to heal someone with your lay on hands. What if someone was able to then change that so that you, intentionally or not, killed someone? You couldn't prove that you didn't mean to do it, that someone else did that. You could have just simply strangled them to death right there and then.
It is a spectacularly utilitarian war strategy.
Just be thankful that, as far as we're aware, no one actually has the ability to do that. Minus the Jester, of course. But you have somewhat proven yourselves worthy, I guess.
It's the most evil spell I've ever encountered. I almost killed the one I love.
Oh, there's much worse. Believe you me. So, a deal is a deal. But the option still stands for you, Prince. The promise of our army, or my oath bow. You can have one, you can have the other, you can't have both. What will it be?
I made my decision before we went in there.
I just want to hear it one more time.
Support of your armies will save more lives than a single oath bow could.
Respectable. Most men I know would most definitely take personal power over that of an actual army. She kind of like leans over to Silas and whispers into his ear. Are you sure? Quite. Fetch it, please.
Neftari's shaking his head. Should have taken the Dumbo.
And you would have failed miserably if you were in his position. Delilah then she kind of like reaches over and pulls out opens a drawer and pulls out what looks to be a parchment and pen and starts writing something down. Seems to be almost like a letter of sorts. Oh, don't worry about him. He'll be back in a few moments. But Prince Victorious of Dinfasari, I, Delilah Briarwood, and she finishes scratching the pen on the paper and hands it over to Victorious. as per our agreement, should you call upon the army of Whitestone, we will provide any and all aid that we can to you in this upcoming war, battle, conflict, whatever you want to call it. It is signed by my name, and will be yours to claim when you see fit. And as you read it, Victorious, is basically just a contract stating that upon your request, the burning of the contract will essentially draw the Whitestone army to your location via planar transport as a one-time use, like aid for the army of Whitestone in your upcoming conflict.
Take a look at it for a moment. Thank you. And do consider Dr. Ripley's studies. They seem quite advanced and may well be extremely useful in a conflict where we might need your aid.
As far as we're aware, she's made not much progress. But perhaps with your help, leaps and bounds will be made. But I do hope that this agreement of ours may well be utilized both ways. If you're successful in defeating whatever threat it is to your land, if Whitestone should ever have aid of the army of Denfasari, once of course it has been re-established under your control, that we may call upon your help.
In which case, I'd forgotten. I'm going to reach in down beneath my armor where I stashed the dagger earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Take it out. I'm going to present it over to her.
Ding!
Ding! You received one dagger.
Ding! One legendary dagger. Oh no, you've not leveled up either. Not yet.
I'm going to pass that over to her. I wasn't sure of the etiquette of the city, but I prepared a gift, and it's also been customized in case you have any more lichen problems. Should I say?
Gingerly grasps it and let's see here. Now, remind me though, Adam, your intention was to have this both as a gift but as for self-defense as well, in case something bad happened, right?
Yeah, I absolutely had it in case they stripped us of our weapons and needed to fight something with. Yeah,
she kind of like glances down to it and smiles as she looks up to you. Offer one hand but arm the other, yes? Very wise.
Consider it a token of our alliance.
As at this moment, Silas kind of walks in, and he's got a very long leather pouch in his hands, and he's like, and consider this a token of mine. As he passes the leather pouch over to you, Adam. No, Victorless.
I'll take a moment. Is it like wrapped?
Think of it like almost like a rifle bag. Like it's a leather bound with what looks to be a tie going through it that seals it over something.
I'm just going to very calmly kind of open it up enough to see whether the contents of this thing remind me of something that I previously held.
Mm-hmm. And as you open the sorry, I'm just doing something here. As you open up the leather, you do kind of peek in and see the pale white with gold trim arm, not currently stringed, but a very familiar look of an oathbow. Now that is mine, and if we call upon you, I do hope you'll come back, help us, and maybe give it back to me one day.
If all ends the way that we hope it will, and we're successful, then I'll return this to you, for I'll have my own.
Well, fingers crossed, but I do believe I am leaving it in the most capable of hands.
I'll do my best.
I'm sure you will. Now, I'm going to assume that you all need a rest and time to relax and patch yourselves up.
Yes, and Lord Neftari will one day be happy to pledge his future army as well to your aid, of course.
Well, Lord Neftari, when that day comes, you can ask us. Now,
Will do.
if you would be so kind, we don't have any rooms here in the castle, I'm afraid, but feel free to use any resources within the city of Whitestone to patch yourselves up and get you the best of health. And we'll begin preparations for our army to make sure that it is combat ready for when your time comes.
We thank you for your consideration.
With that, Delilah gives you a almost like a courtesy of sorts before she steps back and just goes into one of the darkened corners of the rooms, and the door behind you all swings open. That leads you out into the castle proper, back into the grand hall. As you're considering your next step, Silas does step up to you, Victorious, and kind of leans in. I will just warn you now. If you break it, she will consume you. In more ways than one.
It's going to give him a very awkward smile and kind of jig the leather.
Yeah, you got it. Sure. Don't know what you mean, but got it.
It's quicken my pace slightly as I head out.
Right, let me check something here. There we go, right. Victorious, if you want to refresh your character sheet.
Thank you.
Your oathbow is there, and it has been modified slightly. A standard oathbow doesn't actually have any +2 hit or damage. But this oathbow is modified. It was Delilah's oathbow. It should have oh wait, hold on. I might have done the wrong thing. Whoops. There we go, that's better. Refresh your page again. It was only a +3 to hit instead of your +13, but it's now a +13 to hit with the +6 to damage. It's got a +3 modifier to it. with the Elvish command line to do extra damage.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem. Right. So, as you guys make your way out and step out into the halls of the Whitestone Castle, is there anything else you would like to do while you're here, or would you just like to see about getting some rest?
Lord and Lady Briarwood.
Silas does kind of stop as he's kind of making his way over to Delilah and turns to yes.
The battle we face is potentially against countless legions of demons and undead. Do you have any leads that might point us in the direction of other armies that could potentially be forthcoming? Leaders that we could trust to help us with this cause and not make it much the worse?
Trust no one. Don't trust anyone but yourselves. But if you are looking for an army that you might be able to use, as we said before, Amon, Uriel there, the Emperor, he has an army that may prove useful. Or, if you can find it, Singon to the south. The elves there are quite tricky, but they may be able to help you.
Thank you once again.
Of course. And good luck. Hopefully we'll see you again. And he steps over into the darkness with Delilah, and you're now free, essentially, to do whatever you like. So, what would you guys like to do?
May we use your kitchen?
If you want something to eat, return to your inn. We're not here to feed you. You're here to speak to us, and you've now got our armies, and you have my wife's oath bow. Don't push your luck.
Might I ask of a request? Have more of the I would assume compared to the town itself.
I'm sorry, could you say that again, Carolina? You kind of cut out there.
Oh, sorry. May I make a request, since I would believe you would have better means to accommodate it versus the town itself?
And that would purely depend on your request, young one. What is it?
Library.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking for, or do you just want full access?
Full access would be preferable. However, should you want to keep things more to yourselves, as some lords and ladies prefer, our queries are the demons and undead, so research other tomes and archives that would pertain to such things would be helpful.
Oh, where is it that you're staying?
Hydra's Ale House?
Hydra's Ale House. Of course. I'm not surprised. I will have one of my guards bring out as many of the books pertaining to your kind of research and bring them to you to the Hydra's Ale House for you to use and to keep, so long as they're kept in good condition and returned whenever you're finished with them.
My tomes are kept better than most people keep their children.
I'm glad to hear that, but if I do find any dog ears on any of my books, I will have your head. Do you understand me?
I'm gonna hold up my spell book. My spell book is usually kept in pretty good condition. all of these pages are straight, and I've had this book for as long as I've been able to read.
It kind of approaches it and inspects your spell book.
Is there any sign of cat or pigeon damage?
It kind of like reaches up to it, and before he actually takes it, just lifts his fingers away. May I? He's wanting to take it from you. And he's asked you for your permission.
I will relent.
Takes it, skims over it. There is one very faintly, and he points it out to you. Very faint fracture, it looks like. Petrification, was it?
I believe so.
Well, it passes the spell book back to you.
But for 24 years and only a slight fracture.
My books have been in my collection for hundreds.
I look forward to reading them.
Damage them and I'll have your head. Now, please, if you'd be so kind, my wife and I need our privacy as we plan the next step in our political pursuits. I wish you all a good evening. Yeah, slowly just turns his back to you all and walks over to where Delilah is in the almost pitch darkness in the back. All right, so what's the plan for you guys? Where do you guys want to go now?
Well, I'm excited as a child on Christmas morning.
Yay, books! Didn't sound as exciting when I said it aloud.
Because you're not a wizard.
Not in this game.
Okay, let's get back to the alehouse. And on the way, we'll pass through the market and see if we can find some kippers.
Well, as you make your way out into the outside of the castle, I hate it when this my computer does that. As you make your way outside of the castle and into the other courtyard, looking out, you do see that the first thing that hits you is the biting cold temperature of the evening light. Sorry, stepping outside. The moon is almost completely full and hangs way above you. Odd cloud cover with the sparkling stars glinting back to you. At best estimate, and Corlene, you've got feet that lets you never lose track of the time, right?
I know that's not me.
No. I must be thinking of another game then. But best guess from the four of you as you glance around, probably pushing about 10, 11 p.m. It's late at night. Market's probably not going to be open. Your first and probably only food that's going to be readily available to you is going to be the Hydra's Ale House. Unless you go and get your own.
I'm in no state to hunt.
I think I'll take what the ale house can give us.
Temple, Carolina, what are you guys wanting to do?
I mean, I'll be ready to, settle in the ale house for some study time.
Temple, what about you?
Well, I'm quite excited, Caleb, because you can start at A, or I can start at Z, or the other way round, and then we can cross over in the
Who's
middle.
Kayla?
That's you.
That's
Carolina.
Carolina, yes, sure. Nice save, I get. Somewhat nice save.
We can cross over and discuss our findings in the middle, then continue reading the books the other has read, and then discuss our findings further and see if our different perspectives have given us different understandings of the research.
that could prove quite fortuitous, considering you don't need to sleep, and I actually do need to sleep. This could be good.
Excellent.
Besides,
It's a study party.
I have a couple of I do have a couple of spells. So if you want to get started, whenever they bring the books, I have to study in a couple of spells first. Mostly, and like I hold up my two spell scrolls I got. Like I've got like the one that's the big one, and then I've got one that was just like a personal one for me.
I could read the book too. When
Kinda
I've
help,
finished
yeah.
my own. Yeah.
I'm sorry, just the way you said that just makes me giggle. I can read a book too.
DM, have I got any
That is
crayons
true,
in my
you
bag?
can read.
Everybody's looking at. Oh, yeah,
None that Neftari can eat.
Does the tavern have in a corner a kids' table with some paper and crayons?
No, it's got one of those kit tables that has like one of those old toys where all the little shapes are connected by a wire that you then spin around and stuff like that. It's got one of them. You could dump Neftari off at that kiddie table if you'd like.
Oh god.
All right. So...
Put him on that for a joke, and then he comes out of it with +1 on a stat or something.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. It was like, yeah, go ahead and roll me a D100. Rolls a 100. Like, yeah, you
Sleight
gain
of hand up 1.
+1 to your dex somehow.
That's how kids learn, isn't it?
Well, you're not wrong. Anyway, so you guys are making your way back to the Hydra's Ale House, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
Yeah, what's my current knowledge on the best way to string a bow as far as materials goes?
Depends, really. Like some use like a twine. Some people go and use like horsehair. It's different materials have different elasticity, which can be better or worse for a bow.
I'm just wondering if given that I spent many years working as a bowsmith, which I obviously can't remember any of right this minute.
Yeah.
Whether I would know what material I would want to ultimately string the perfect bow with.
Yeah, like just given your background, like me personally, like not as a DM but as a person, I have no fucking clue about anything like that. So I will just say that I'll do some research of myself at some point and find out what best material will be used for stringing a bow. But Victorilus knows what would be best, and you can.
I mean, you can always make something up.
Material.
Yeah, and like it could be a D&D creature, so you really
Unicorn
could
hair.
make up.
Boom, done.
I mean, I did say horsehair, so.
Awesome. Yep.
That might be
Unicorns
magical.
are better
Maybe
than
that does
horses,
something
don't
else.
at me.
Unicorns are horses with horns on their heads.
Yeah, they're perpetually
Magical.
Rhinos are unicorns, but curvier. And I'm not wrong.
Thick ass horses.
They are big ass horses. In more ways than one. Anyway. Anyway, as you guys, you would know what material you would need for stringing your oath bow with Victorilus. You will need to pick one of your rings to lose an attunement with.
Yeah.
Because you've already attuned 3 items.
I'm not equipping or attuning the oath bow just yet. It's not even battle ready. So,
but when it's ready out, you will need to get rid of one of your attunements. But you make your way through the uneventful, very cold evening night of Whitestone as you make your way far down south to the Hydra's Ale House, which is down here. If I can move your token, well, the token. a bit further down. There we go. And as you reach the door, it's not too rowdy inside. There is as you pass, as you open the door and pass through the veil of Serok's spell. There are quite a few people inside, but it's mostly quiet. People are just hunched over on tables, whispering to one another. And as you step through and stop, it almost seems like tension is just set in place, as everyone just kind of halts their conversations and it kind of glances over to you and just stares for a few moments before, oh my god, that's them. They were the ones that got to go and see Lord and Lady Briarwood. Oh my god, I wonder what they got. What were they asking for? Oh, I bet they're considering an assassination. Maybe they're mercenaries. People are just whispering up the biggest heap of shit as you walked in. Everyone just creating rumors about what you're here to do and why you got a meeting with the Lord and Lady Briarwood. As everyone kind of returns to their own hushed whispers, Sadok does see you over with a smile and gestures you all over as you have returned for the evening, because you have been away for basically the entire day.
I think Neftari would revel in the notoriety, and would, try to sort of act a little smug, and it would just make him puff his chest out a little bit more. And
yeah, we're here we've been planning an assassination with the Lord and Lady, and you guys don't know it. Haha, yeah.
Yep. On the hearing mercenary, just make sure that people can see the dagger in his belt, and
All right, so what are you guys wanting to do now?
Well, I don't mind heading upstairs. I'm gonna go do wizard study.
Now, again, you don't have any of the books at the moment, remember?
No, for my other spells.
The
I've
other
got
spells.
spell for
Yeah.
I've got the spell for power word kill and sending that I'm gonna go work on and study.
All right, cool.
I think you said I was about maybe a third, 2/3 into power word kill.
Yes, it'd probably be another night, maybe a little longer, depending on how long you push your studies this evening to get it copied into your spellbook. But again, you won't be able to use it until you get the spell slot requirement.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think for sending it's 14 hours.
Something like that, yeah.
No, it's for sending. It's 2 hours per spell level. Sending, I think, is a 3rd level spell.
So it'd be 6 hours.
Oh fuck! If it's only 6 hours, I'm gonna work on sending. I'll cover power word kill the next night.
Okay. All right. So you make your way up to the tower and begin your wizard studies. You fucking nerd. I mean, what? Excuse me.
Look. The unknown perk of the School of Conjuration. While you're studying and doing your wizard spells, you can always conjure snacks.
I mean, technically, but in this game, yes. In any other game, probably not, because you consider if you eat something, you do damage to it. So,
well, okay.
anything that you conjure, if it takes damage, it disappears. So if you eat something, technically you're damaging it.
So I just have to swallow it whole then, until my stomach acid dissolves it.
Until the stomach acid does damage to it, and then it disappears.
That's incredible. Imagine the potential for weight loss. You could eat as much pizza as you wanted, and it just disappears once it goes.
I would be very impressed if you could swallow a whole slice of pizza.
Oh, don't put it past me.
I mean, I would be very impressed. It just roll up into a ball and
roll it to a sausage,
and then just swallow it whole. I would be very impressed if you could manage that. But the other, moving onwards, the other three, Temple, Neftari, and Victoris, what are you guys wanting to do?
Is Shikard's here, right?
Shikard is here. He's he's kind of gestured you over. He's behind the bar.
Yeah, I'm gonna approach Shikard. Well, thanks again. I think that was successful as far as it could be.
I'm glad. It looks like you've apparently come away with more than what you bargained for.
Yeah, I mean, well, I know I'm gonna need a strong drink, and I imagine Neftari probably too.
Do you have any kippers?
I could see what I've got in the back, but I don't know. It's a very odd request.
It doesn't matter. A strong drink is would be awesome.
I'm sure any smoked fish will sort of satiate his.
Fish isn't
Hunger.
something that we really get up this way, so
Which brings me to my next point. Do you do your own butchery, or how's your meat here delivered?
for the most part, it's brought from Mon or Western, depending on how far out I'm looking to get it or how fresh I want it. It's brought up this way, and if there's nothing of the quality that I'm looking for, I'll probably send someone out to go hunt it down in the Parchwood Timberlands. Why?
I just wondered whether you were receiving meat as large as kind of legs of beef as opposed to joints of beef. Maybe something.
I'd get full legs in if it's hunted down like and is as fresh as possibly can. I'd get a full leg. How is that what you're after?
Well, only if you already cut the meat. I'm just looking for some other materials.
I don't quite follow. Are you looking for the skin? Are you looking for hair, nails?
We always used to use cattle or horse tendons from primarily the back legs. They seem to be stronger for stringing our bows. And
Oh, that's what you're looking to do, right? I thought you were wanting to indulge and just gorge on a deer leg or something.
that's more Neftari's.
Mention that.
I'll see what I can do for the period. Just I don't know if I have anything tonight. Maybe in the morning. I can check.
I can go hunting if not, but I thought let's be economical about this.
I'll
Yeah.
happily check the back. And are you you're wanting a hard drink, yeah?
We're going to look over to Neftari. Yeah, a hard drink.
Hard drinks come in right up. You guys head up to the tower and I'll make sure it's sent up to you, no problem.
And a standard, platter of food. It's been a long day.
I'll send something up to you guys, don't you worry. And with that, he kind of steps down from his little stool and wanders into the back and disappears. So with that, are you guys heading up to the top of the tower, or what's the plan? Whoa.
Yep.
All right, cool. Temple, you do want to do anything in particular, or are you just following everyone else up to the tower?
Just following for now until the fun gets here.
The fun gets here, fair enough. As you make your way up to the tower, Corlina, are you going to be doing study in your room, or are you going to be studying in the common area?
Yeah, upstairs in my room.
Upstairs in your room, cool. So the three of you, as you make your way in, Corlina, as per usual, is nowhere to be seen. You can all assume probably up in the bedroom, but you managed to settle down in the common room in the very comfortable armchairs that are there for you. Oh, excuse me. About 10 minutes later, there's a gentle knock on the door, and slowly is pushed inwards as Shakad kind of using his elbow opens the door and carries in 2 large plates. Well, platters, really, and sets them down. An assortment of different breads, meats, cheeses, stuff to, fill your bellies and, any type of preference that you might like. As he turns back, kind of glances to you, Victorious, and says, is there any kind of preference on species? We've got a lot of venison down the stairs, and I'm not sure if that kind of tendon would be suitable. If you're looking for something more exotic, you'd probably have to go out yourself, or I could hire someone to go out hunting.
I'd have thought venison was better than anything. Have you seen deer? They're so springy. They run faster than any cattle.
You would hunt in the woods.
Yeah, there's some interesting species in the Parchwood Timberlands, so it might. There's a lot of stags and does kicking around, but there are some, some stallions, some mare. If you're lucky, you could come across a unicorn, but it's like once in a blue moon we actually come across something like that.
Let's not kill horses.
Kill a horse to string a bow.
No, let's not kill horses.
I'll take what you have and I'll see what I can do with it. See how the strength is, but thank you.
All right, and he kind of turns around and just takes a half step outside of the door, and it picks up what looks to be a very small dish. Pulls it inside, and there he kind of drops it down. You do see it's kind of sitting in a very small pool of blood. Not sure how fresh you wanted it, so that's as fresh as you're gonna get. I don't do pose, so that's me again. Enjoy. Very abruptly, and you see his face is gone bright red. He's just extremely unsure of himself. Steps out of the tower, and you hear his footsteps descending the stairs as he heads back downstairs.
I'll bring the bowl of sinewy, meaty offcuts over to the table, plonk it down, and then start digging into some.
All right, cool. Oh, the alcohol was also brought up before I forget to mention. No, can't forget the fact that the alcohol is brought up as well. Right, so what do you guys want to do?
Can I try some of that stuff in that bowl over there? What's that you've got? That looks.
Tori, if you promise to keep the stringy bits. So the tendons that run through this meat are the bits I need. But to be honest, if you want to have a nibble on the bits around it, then go for it. Just try not to chew the actual tendon. It'll save me some time cleaning it for sure.
Good luck with that.
Offer the bowl over. I'll offer the bowl over to Netar.
Netar, what are you doing?
He's going to try his best just to eat the meat.
Okay.
He's just pulling the spaghetti out the side of your mouth.
Netar, go ahead, and I want you to roll me 3 consecutive survival checks, please. Let's see how badly you fuck this up, if at all.
Or is it
a 10?
Gonna be like the shark in Finding Nemo when it smells blood.
12 and an 18, so that's 40 total. 13. Right. With that, what I'll say is you do you're being somewhat careful as you do, kind of start stripping some of the like the meat away from the sinewy, stringy bits, as Victoris has asked for you. But as you get to the middle, your careful like demeanor kind of slips for a minute as you just kind of crunch down on the meat. You just lose yourself for a split second, and then realize that you've just bit clean through the center of the longest, stringiest part. Ding. And you have just so essentially you have just cut the longest, stringiest part in two. But you do manage to strip the rest of it clean with the meat and pass it back to Victorilus. Seeing that, Victorilus, because you've got a super high fucking passive perception, like with the years of bowmanship, stringing bows, maintaining them, repairing them, it's some like you can repair or at least do some knot work to actually tie it all together to repair the split sinew and like stringy bits.
It's always going to be weak though.
It's always, because it has been broken, it is going to be weaker.
Can I try cast my mending cantrip on it as I pass it back? Maybe.
Let me take a look at mending and see the full wording of the spell. I'm going to say yes to that. As you're kind of Victoria, as you kind of pick it up and look at the two parts and just kind of glance to Neth'Tari, put the two parts back down and push the bull away from you, you're just starting to consider yourself what what you're going to have to do now. You're going to have to go hunting. You're going to have to probably go and hunt down some kind of animal, hopefully not a horse, or if it has to be a horse, you're probably never going to mention it to Neth'Tari.
Well,
Then you're going to have to
hunt a horse out of spite.
Well, maybe, but you're considering hopefully it's going to be like a deer or something that like a buck, or maybe even like a unicorn or something like that. It's maybe some magical properties, but you're going to have to kill it and then carve it up and extract the sinew and stringy parts from the meat. And as you're considering all this, you glance down, and the two parts that were there, Neth'Tari just kind of quickly takes his hands back and looks around all innocent as you realize that it has been fully mended and is back to one full stringy, sinewy part. I don't know what I'm talking about. Leave me alone.
Well, I hope that was as good for you as it was for me. Enough to bowl to one side and just carry on drinking and eating.
All right, cool. As you're going through the evening with your eating and drinking, Victorilus and Neth'Tari, I'd like you to both roll me Constitution saving throws, please, because this is the strong stuff that you are drinking, remember?
Natural 20.
Nat 20, okay.
Nat 20! Yeah.
2 nat 20s, all right. Yeah, you guys have, it's been a stressful day. A lot's happened. Items have exchanged hands, plans have been made or forming in your head. You've been through some a very traumatic experience of once again, Coralina has died by the hands of one of your own, anyway. Now you're just fucking drinking and just letting, you're not so much as resisting the effects as you're just allowing it to happen. You're willingly allowing yourself to feel the effects of this white stone ale. And it seems to do the trick, as it's not to the point where you're passing out and potentially spewing your guts out. But you are able to, get quite drunk to the point where you're enjoying yourselves, not passing out and spewing your guts all over the floor. All right. Is there any other plans for the evening before we fast forward to the next day?
I would just be using the time in amongst the drinking to clean, prep, and then start to stretch this tendon that I've got. I think might be suitable to see if it will work on the bow.
Cool.
Me drawing out and treating and stuff. So
go ahead and roll me a survival check real quick. Temple, are you wanting to do anything throughout the night?
No, just cleaning and maintaining weapons and shields.
Okay. And
To the
Neftari?
extent I can without the tools.
Yeah, of course. And Neftari, is there anything in particular you want to do before the night comes to a complete close?
Yeah, Neftari would take some food up to Corlina, but seeing her study, would try to sort of sneak it in without her disturbing her, and just sort of.
Well, you're
place it
quite
down.
inebriated at the moment, so I'll go ahead and ask you to roll me a stealth check at disadvantage with how sneaky you're trying to
I'm
be.
trying to be quiet. I'm sorry.
I'm sneaking up on you. Pretend not to notice me.
why does the door always creak when I'm drunk?
That's a 5. Yeah, basically, Corlina, you do kind of glance over your shoulder, and Neftari, you kind of freeze for a moment while you've got these plates in your hand, like, if I don't move, she doesn't see me, right?
I'm just gonna take a couple of books that are like over to the right side, just move them over to the left side so there's a spot.
You kind of realize that she
and
has...
turn back around and pretend to work.
But as far as you're aware, she hasn't seen you, Neftari. Maybe it worked.
So I'm just going to place the dishes down and.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know that when she's busy studying, she doesn't want to be disturbed. So. Yeah.
All right.
He's learned that lesson, I think.
All right, and with that, are you going to all call it an evening, like while you're doing your finishing the rest of your research, Carlina?
Okay, so granted, this was weeks ago, DM, when we discussed this.
Mm-hmm.
It was a shenanigan. Are you willing to let it happen?
You're gonna have to remind me. I
got
can't
you.
remember.
I got you. I'll PM you. Hang on.
I'm gonna say no to that just now.
No worries.
That's
No worries, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. But with that, if you two want to fade to black, let me know, and we'll do that. But unless anyone has anything else that they want to do before the evening comes to an end.
There was an item I needed to attune. Is that done over a long rest?
That's done over a long rest, but at your current condition, you're not going to be able to tune to anything. You're fucked, mate. Victorious, anything else you wanted to do?
No, I'll just be eating food, drinking, and trying to get this bow
Cool.
kind of set up for at least a test run.
Cool. And let's see, your survival check was a 12. Cool, good to know. And Temple, anything else you would like to do at all?
No, not unless any books have appeared. Or if
Uh,
there are any other books I haven't read that happen to be around the place.
Not at this present moment in time, no.
Then
It
I
was-
shall reread Geology for Dummies 7th edition.
Okay, right. Well, with that, as you take your
I want to teach you about the preparation of a tendon from the back of a large mammal in order to
Definitely,
make it
definitely
sustainable.
something.
All right.
Taylor's going to
Temple.
watch every tiny, intricate hand movement as if it
and
was
as
important as the
with
rest.
your 12, this actually works in pretty well. With your 12, there it does get to the point where you are able to draw out the tendon and dry it out and make it like tight and strong that would fit a work as a bowstring with enough elasticity to it so that like at a full draw it would be able to loose an arrow with a lethal velocity. And as you finish like explaining the details to Temple, you then go into details about how you would fully string the bow. And as you begin trying to string the oath bow, as you try and try and try, no matter what you do in the evening because of how much you've had to drink, you just cannot get this bow to string. Eventually, like as you're about to finally manage to string it all together and have a fully functioning oath bow, one of the arms just slips out of your grasp and the oath bow actually kind of rebounds, bounces and spins over and lands on the table with a loud clattering, like wood on wood. And you're just not able to string the bow tonight.
Bit like when you're trying to tie a balloon and you lose your like finger hold.
Yeah,
on
you
it.
just lose it and just like it's just yeah, no, fuck that. I can't be bothered doing that anymore.
Does Temple learn anything about the removal of tendons from
Yes.
meat?
You
or
are able with watching Nithari doing that whole eating thing with the meat on the tendons that you don't need to do, and watching Victorious deal with the drying out and the preparation of the tendons. Yeah, I'd say that you've learned how to sufficiently strip the meat of an animal carcass to extract meat from bone or tendons and such to utilize this kind of training going for if you're wanting to put it in practice going forward.
Interesting. Not the application I'm thinking of, but interesting.
All right. So with that, we are going to fast forward to the next morning. However, I am going to say right here, very, very quick, we are going to go for a quick bio break for all of us, because that is 10:05, and I kind of need to go to the bathroom myself. So I'm going to drop AFK here for a few minutes, go and get something to eat, go and grab yourself a drink, go to the bathroom, whatever you need to do, and we will return to the shenanigans in a few minutes. I'll say give it 5-10 minutes. Does that sound all right for everyone?
Roger.
All right, cool. So we'll go AFK here, and we will be back shortly. Right, and we are back. Kayla's still currently, or Carolina, she's down there. She's still currently AFK grabbing some food. I think she's got takeout. I think the two of them ordered takeout. I'm assuming, Kayla. She's just not listening. But yeah, I'm assuming it's takeout because there's a bag.
Yeah.
You ordered takeout, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as for her and Dakota, so we'll catch up with Kayla once she's set up with the what Carlina's going to do in the morning, because we're going to keep going. So the morning goes well, the evening passes by really quietly. The 4 hours of the long rest, or 4 hours of meditation required for your long rest, goes by victorious, and we will pick up with you. What do you want to do first thing in the morning, as the day is ready for you?
How much earlier than everyone else? Is it
2 hours before
6
temple?
o'clock in the morning?
Before everyone else, it's probably about 6 o'clock in the morning, or roughly 6 o'clock in the morning. 2 hours before temple will wake, 4 hours before Corlina and Nethari.
Basically, I'm just going to go out and find somewhere that can provide me with a decently constructed and not homemade bowstring for my bow this morning, rather than trying to use this ridiculous looking tendon that's clearly not going to work.
I mean, you need to actually string it to the bow and find and actually test it to see if it works first, because you weren't able to do that. But if you do want to go and find a professionally made, then
weaponsmith that has done all the twining and twisting. And
yeah, you can most certainly do that. You did have the Fox's Armory that you'd been to within Whitestone before. Rose, the shopkeeper there, she may be able to offer you like a professionally made bowstring to
so I'll
string your oath bow.
I'll wait until I assume that the shops are going to be open.
Yeah, probably be another couple of hours before the shops open, because meditation only lasts a few hours, and it's not like the other non-elves that actually have to do that thing where they sleep and go unconscious. Like, I mean, who has to sleep, right?
I'll go for a morning wander around the city.
Yeah, just go out.
Do I see him leave?
Yeah. You will where you set up your sentry's rest. Yeah, you'll be able to see him leave. So, but you won't be able to follow behind, because you still need your 6 hours of inactivity for it to be construed as a long rest. I believe.
I would be able to have a brief conversation with him.
Yes, I will allow you to do that if you want to have a very brief conversation and like just for a few moments to not break your sentry's rest. Then you will be able to do that.
Victoralis, where are you going this morning?
Well, I don't know what I was thinking last night, really. I know that there's a lot more to making a string than a bit of tendon or a bit of gut. I just wanted to try this bow out. I think
I see.
Better.
Have you considered seeing if magical strings are a thing?
I will certainly bear it in mind and ask. For now, I want to make sure this thing works as intended.
Regardless, please stay in touch. Don't change continents again without letting us know.
I apologize for that, Temple. I do. This bow was my goal. Now that I've got it, I want to make sure I can use it.
Well, have fun, you little scamp. Off you go. I read that in a book. One of Neftari's books.
See you later, alligator?
Oh, God.
And then I can walk out the door.
I hate both so much.
Temple spends the next 2 hours contemplating the mechanics and biology of an alligator warforged.
See, yes, and how can I become an alligator or warforged? I could
Am I, in
munch
fact,
so
a
many
boy?
things. But yeah, as you begin your little 2-hour jaunt around Whitestone, go ahead and roll me a investigation check as you're going around, Victoralis.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
I got to turn that hack off.
Never seen
I'm pretty sure that's been like 1,
That's my
2,
third. No,
3. There's been like 4 or 5 natural 20s.
Why does this in combat? It's saving up the natural ones for next week when we're fighting some massive demon that's going to kill us all.
You don't know that. Anyway, as you're as you're going through on your walk around the perimeter of Whitestone, it'll take you a couple of hours, plenty of time to go out, get some fresh air, see the the people of the city getting up and going about their business in the early morning. You do come across a couple of guards, and it does. Oh, like, the mention of something does catch your attention as you kind of stop and listen. And he goes, "Yeah, I heard Lord and Lady wanted to try and set something up with them on some kind of trade deal or something, or supply routes. I don't know, but all the fucking posh cunts going to be coming down here soon enough. Yeah, I don't want to deal with that. Sound like a bunch of pricks down there. But I suppose they do have those really nice looking robes and armor. Think maybe we'd get some of that if it was set up. Yeah, it does look kind of nice, doesn't it? But from what I've heard, they're going to have to go down to Imorn to figure it all out with the what's his name? The guy in charge. You mean the Emperor? Oh, yeah, him. They're going to have to go down that way. They've not been away for a trip outside of Whitestone for some time. Do you think we'd be alright by ourselves? Of course we'd be alright, you fucking idiot. We're the one with the swords and the shields and the crossbows and stuff. I mean, look at him. We could probably take him, and you do notice that they do actually just point straight at you, even though you're standing there like looking up, like kind of like paying attention to the conversation. They just kind of point at you for a split second. We could take him. Oh,
I'm gonna turn to them casually. Have you heard of Dr. Ripley?
What? It's way too early in the morning for someone like you to be out of bed. What are you doing out here? And who's this Dr. Ripley you're talking about? What?
She'll render your shields and swords redundant. Don't you worry. She's the one to look out for.
Are you threatening us, mate?
No, not
I'll
threatening.
have you know, I'm a city guard. I'll have you fucking arrested if you're threatening us.
Never threaten anyone. Actions speak louder than words, but...
Yeah, actions speak louder than words. Isn't that right, Craig? Yeah, actions speak louder than words. And the bigger guy draws his crossbow and points at you. I'll fucking have you, mate. Go about your business. Fuck off, Kevin. you giggling. Go about your business. Yeah? Go on, fuck off.
Go on, fuck off.
I hate you so much.
These voices are great.
I'll just smile and continue on my way. Shrug my shoulders and move on.
All right. 2 hours go by. You do manage to make your way back to the Hydra's Ale House. You've probably it's about 8 o'clock, so you've got another hour or two before the market and the stores open up. The armory will probably open up at about that time, 9-10 o'clock ish. So you've still got another couple hours to wait. So move over to Temple. You've had your 6 hours rest. Is there anything in particular you want to do in the morning?
Yes, I'm going to spend 2 hours contemplating the biology of an alligator and what a warforged alligator will look like, as I have the previous 2 hours.
As you continue to consider it, you think it'd probably be made very little metal, unless it's of the same kind of buoyancy as yourself, or same makeup where you can float with the wooden components that make up a good portion of your body that allows you to float and maneuver. In war, you'd have to be very buoyant for it to actually be useful in its aquatic environment.
Given that I don't need to breathe and I have quite a strong level of control while underwater, given that I can change my elevation, I could do a crocodile roll.
You very much could just launch someone and spin numerous times until their leg is torn from its socket. And
The spin
I mean, you don't. But you
function
don't.
on my webcam doesn't work. Damn.
No, you can't do that.
I'd be spinning right now if it worked.
But you don't have the need to eat, so it wouldn't really prove much effective. Unless you took their head and then ripped their head from their body, that would be proved quite effective, but very barbaric.
4 hours of thought well summarized.
How far can like Temple's jaw open?
As an alligator temple, probably pretty big.
It's removable. Fully removable.
And just
It doesn't open too wide, but I can take it off.
all right. A couple hours go by. Corlina and Neftari, it's about this time that you guys awake from your long rest. The sun has fully risen to the sky now. It's soft blue skies, that the gentle breeze blowing in through the windows. What would you guys like to do?
I was able to finally finish sending.
Sending, yes. So you can add that to your repertoire of spells.
Awesome.
Is there anything you guys want to do for the morning?
I might test out sending.
Okay. You've added it to your spell list, right? Or am I going to have to go and actually look up sending so I can double check exactly what it does?
No, I'm adding it right now.
Cool. I'm still going to look it up because it's going to be quicker for me to do it this way.
Yep.
Sending. Click. You send a short message of 25 words or less to a creature with which you are familiar. The creature hears the message in its mind, recognizes you as the sender if it knows you, and can answer in a like manner immediately. The spell enables creatures with intelligence score of at least 1 to understand the meaning of your message. You can send the message across any distance and even to other planes of existence. But if the target is on a different plane than you, there is a 1% chance that the message doesn't arrive. So.
I'm going to test that planar crossing ability.
Oh. And who?
Let's see if I can actually get lucky.
All right. Who are you sending?
The one I can trust the most.
Bizet.
Of course.
All right. And what do you say?
So, hi. I finally managed to pick up that spell, so I can let you know I'm okay and not dead. Totally not dead. And yeah, can you just let me know if
Nope, that's it. Nope. And yeah, that's all you get. That's 25.
Okay.
I was counting. So, all right.
I was hoping I was gonna cut off awkwardly anyway.
Yep. Okay.
You're kidding.
I rolled a 5.
You're kidding.
Nope. I will grab my phone and take a photo of this if you'd like.
Oh, that's just.
I rolled a 5. 0, and 5.
So what does it have to be to succeed?
It has to be 6 or higher. There is a 5% chance that the message doesn't arrive, so you need to roll a 6 or higher, and I rolled a 5.
Out of 100.
Out of 100, yes.
Wow.
Do I even know if that succeeds or not?
You don't know. It
Does
sends.
someone else receive it? Like a dog.
No, it just
dog out.
Well,
it just doesn't arrive. The spell just doesn't arrive. It just disappears into the ether. But as far as you're aware, the message has been sent.
I mean, he could be busy. He could be busy doing other things, so he can't reply like right away. What?
I can't believe that. The one time you're trying it, and it's like, yep, 5% chance to cross the plains. Let's go, and that's a 5.
Alright, I can
Sorry.
always try later tonight. Or maybe he's just busy. Well, that's okay.
Yeah, try it again and watch me watch a roll a fucking 4 or something, so it still doesn't send. That would be funny. You have to admit, though.
Yeah.
But anyway, is there anything else you guys want to do before the in the early morning?
I guess just get cleaned up and ready for the next day of shenanigans.
Okay, and Neftari, anything you want to do?
No, he'll pull out that stone and have a close look at it. And yeah, I was supposed to tune this last night, but I got drunk.
Right, yeah, the Ion Stone.
Yeah, I was a little bit worried. I mean, you found your way back okay, which is good.
We didn't go out anywhere.
No, you found your way upstairs.
Yeah. Well, how drunk did? Oh, yeah. Yeah, that sort of thing.
Cats.
Yeah, so I'm glad I was up here. Or any cats.
Pigeons.
Don't know if it was any pigeons.
Right, so but you're going to spend your. I'm just checking something. It does go. You're going to spend your early morning attuning to this Iron Stone, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Can I do not need to do it over a long rest? Or?
No, attunement can be done like over a long rest or over, I'll say like in the very early morning. You can spend like the rest, like the majority of your morning before you go out and do anything else with the rest of your party attuning to this Iron Stone. If you forgot to mention it from before the long rest.
Yep, he's going to do that.
Cool, right. So you go ahead and refresh your character sheet, Natari. You'll see that the Iron Stone is equipped and is attuned. And as you're, sitting there, Coraline, for the sake of this, Coraline, you're there helping Natari, understand the intricacies of what an Iron Stone is and what it can do. And you both do a bit of research and realize that, again, yes, this incandescent, blue sphere is an Iron Stone of insight. And after you feel like you fully understand what it does, Nethara, you just give it a light toss into the air. The sphere kind of floats up into the air, and as you're about ready to catch it again, it just stops in midair, floats about 1 foot away from your head, and then slowly begins to orbit around your head. Your character sheet. Everyone go ahead and roll me a long rest, by the way, so everyone get all your spell slots and HP back. But your wisdom score has increased by 2 points, Nethari, so your spellcasting ability modifier is now at a +3. Your spell attacks are up to a +8, and your spell save DC is now up to 16.
Awesome.
Because wisdom is your spellcasting ability modifier. So the higher your wisdom, the more your spells do. So as an example, you're now doing a D8 +3 with your healing instead of a +2. All right.
Well, that's one thing handled.
So, do you think this means I'll be able to cope with that book that I was struggling with?
Oh, the one you got off my brother? Yeah, possibly.
Maybe. You don't know. But with that, Temple, is there anything else you want to do in the morning before? You still notice that over the last few hours that Netari and Corlina still haven't come down from their last night's rest. So just that's you, yeah?
Yep, just contemplating the number of rows of teeth an alligator has.
I actually don't know that. Is it like how many rows of teeth does an alligator have? I think it's 4, like 2 individual rows of teeth for each jaw, isn't it? I don't know. I'd have to look that up.
Temple
Yeah.
hasn't studied it.
As we move swiftly on to Victorless, it's this time it's about 9:30, 9:45. You make your way through the center of Whitestone proper, through the market, and you are able to make your way over to the Fox's Armory, where they're the half elf Rose that you'd spoken to before. Like the bell dings as you enter across the threshold to enter through the doorway, and she kind of glances over to you and is like, hi, welcome back. What can I do for you?
A simple one. This I just need the finest bowstring that you can provide.
Don't you already have a fully stringed bow, though?
Yeah, I need to do a little bit of home maintenance. The raw resources that I've got are not quite up to the usual standard, and well, I hoped you might have something a little bit more substantial.
I see. Well, is there anything in particular you're looking for? A specific type of string, like base, specific type of wrapping, length. Is it a long bow, short bow?
Longbow. It needs to be suitable for a strong longbow. Very high tension.
High tension. Mm-hmm.
Something that's going to be hardy enough to not break under extreme stress.
I might have exactly what you want. She kind of gives you it kind of looks you up and down slightly and gives you a smile before she turns into the back. You hear some rummaging, some clattering. You do hear her swear once or twice as there's a loud crash and some metallic items seem to apparently scatter across the floor. Before she comes back through, little red lump on her head as she kind of just like, yeah, here you are. Try that. And she pushes a very small wooden box to you that looks to be a glass viewing window at the top. Quite a long string. It looks to be a kind of iridescent color to it. As if you pick up the box and kind of shift it in the light, the string goes from a kind of deep blue in at one angle of the light, and as you shift it, it transitions over to a very deep emerald green color as you shift it about. That's probably one of the best bowstrings I've got for a long bow.
It looks interesting. May I? I'm going to take my current bow.
Mm-hmm.
I've left my oath bow.
Yeah.
I'll take my current bow down, lay it on the counter.
Yeah, go right ahead. See if it fits.
Just take the string and measure it out for
Mm-hmm.
kind of distance and stuff like that. Is there any other effect that I can see coming off this thing, or is it just doing that same?
It's just as you like kind of stretch it out and check its length and everything like that, it doesn't seem to be doing anything special. You'd have, if there is any special properties to it, you would need to string it to a bow and actively use it to find out. You can't just ascertain just by looking at it. You would have to physically use the string to figure that out.
But it looks sufficient and would work
Mm-hmm.
with the...
Yeah, looks good enough, yeah.
I'll carefully roll it back up into its original little roll and
Mm-hmm.
place it carefully back in the box with care. It's an interesting string. What's the deal with the glowing?
It's been, so the tendons are from it's an 18-point buck, and the wrapping and finish on is actually from unicorn mane. So it's got the length and elasticity from a not too old, but a buck that was in its prime, and the some believe that its magical essence of unicorn mane gives it some special properties, but as far as I'm aware, it just makes it shimmer in a nice blue-orange color. It's more aesthetically pleasing as far as I'm aware. No one's told me anything any other, so you'd have to find out yourself if it actually does anything for you.
Well, I think it's superb and will suit the bow nicely, I believe.
And she kind of like looks down to your longbow, like, well, yeah, a little bit of color wouldn't hurt.
Yeah, because James's bow is just like a cranked old
Yeah.
wood.
Yeah, there's a few gems in it here and there from the enchantments, but other than that, it's basically just flat brown. Like, yeah, a little bit of color wouldn't hurt.
Okay, I'll take it. What do I? What do I
That'll be 25 gold, please.
25. Hand over 25 gold.
All right, pass it over. She slides the box completely over to you. Pleasure. Is there anything else I can do for you today?
No, the previous service has been superb. If we need any more exquisite weaponry, then we'll sure to be returning.
Of course, and I will keep an eye out for any more exotic pieces that may be of interest and or use for you in your travels.
Of course. Thank you.
No problem.
Happily step outside and I'll make my way back down to the tavern.
Back to the alehouse, all right? And as you make your way in and reconvene with the rest of the party, now with your bowstring in hand, the potential machinations of what a warforged alligator would look like and how it would work, along with the new sending spell and the forever nagging thought in the back of your head that you caused the death of your loved one. We'll call an end to tonight's session there, as you can prepare for any shenanigans and the next step in your long journey through Taldore. Hopefully next week. I mean, as it stands right now, I mean...
I will say, next week I am going to be away. I
Oh.
have a wedding to go to. So,
Oh,
sorry.
fuck.
Sorry.
A wedding. Just as I said it as well. Why am I not fucking surprised? So maybe not next week. It's fine. I mean, prior engagements are prior engagements. As I've always said, always have, and always will say, real life always comes before a game. And ultimately, this is exactly what this is. It's a fucking game. So, like, if you're unwell, if you've got prior engagements or anything like that, don't apologize. Ultimately, like, I would be happy for you to give up playing a game of D&D to go to something important rather than playing. So don't worry about it. So not next week, but the week after.
We'll probably all be in full lockdown again in another couple of weeks.
Probably, because from what I've told, what I've heard, England is going on, like, some places in England are going on local lockdown. Places in Wales are going back into local lockdown. Scotland's already had places going on local lockdown as well. So I would not be surprised if the entire country goes back into lockdown and we get another 3 months of every week just, yeah, let's play D&D on a weekly basis every week without any issues whatsoever.
Yay, we'll see you at Christmas.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, we'll go back to it'll get to Christmas, and like, I wouldn't be surprised if the government does put us back into lockdown, like into complete lockdown, that it won't be lifted until well into next year. I almost guarantee that, because I mean, it was April, like end of April, so May, June, No, end of March. Sorry, so April, May, and all of June. So it was 3 months of a lockdown. We opened up back in July. So if we were to lock down now, it'd be October, November, December. The 3 months would probably put us into the end of the year at the very latest. So
I suspect it'll get worse. As the weather gets worse, people will be indoors more. Over the summer, people can socialize outdoors, so they're not breathing the same air as much, and it's just
but then didn't Trump say that the hot air was going to kill the virus, and that didn't happen? So maybe the cold air.
Trump's a fucking blubbering idiot. So I'm sorry, but that's my opinion. But yeah, Evelyn, what you've just posted there, is that daily or is that just like total?
Daily increase.
That is shocking. It really
yesterday and the day before, the 11th, the 12th being the Saturday, I think, is that right? That was the highest Saturday we've had in 3 months. And if you go back as far as, let's say, the 12th of July, we only had 600 increases. That is, and that's bearing in mind on weekends, there are less reported cases. And so we are absolutely at the start of the second wave.
We are.
Now.
And also, as of Monday, we get this rule of 6 nonsense coming back in the UK, which is like half lockdown kind of stuff.
Yeah, so like you can only be in...
So everyone that's been out this weekend fucking having it large because they're ready for Monday. So this weekend is probably going to be the most...
because like as of next week, we're back down to like only 6 people in a party at any one given time. So like it's
restrictions been put back in, but everyone's just been having it this weekend and ignoring all the distancing rules. So after this weekend, most major cities in the UK are going to see a massive spike because all the people that don't give a shit have just spread it around.
It's far too little, far too late. We're going to go back into lockdown. Second wave is about to hit us. We're going to go back into lockdown. People are going to be furloughed again. And I'll get to spend another 3 months sitting at my computer every single day playing video games. So I don't give a fuck. Hey!
Silver linings.
The silver linings. You always glass half full after all. You got to look at the positive and the negative, right? But anyway.
I bumped into a mate of mine coming back from the pub earlier and he said, you know, you've got it right. You're sitting there doing your Twitch streaming and your computer games and all that kind of stuff all day. One morning you're going to wake up and you'll just be like the only person left. You'll come out and like 28 days later. Like,
yeah. Oh, fuck. Yeah, the place is absolutely... right. No, because when the lockdown first went in place, I actually did that. I walked through the high street of my town. Like it was a Thursday at like 2 in the afternoon, and that's normally where like around the time where it's like the busiest. And the place was empty. It was just like 50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town. Fucking COD4 reference right there.
You mean Kenjaw 1?
Oh shit! The cleansing has come about. Oh no! But anyway, with that, because that is 5 to 11, we are going to call an end to the session there. So thank you everyone who has been stuck around with us for this entire session. I'm hopefully going, I'm back to work as of tomorrow, so hopefully when I come, I'll start doing more stuff. I've just not been well this last week and a bit. That's why I've not really been doing anything. I've been playing video games here and there, but I've not really done any streaming. So I'll try and get back into the swing of things once I've shifted this migraine and stuff. But other than that, hope you've enjoyed the session. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend, and hope that no one gets infected with the Rona over these next coming months, because
I feel
the world government
Kayla has some advice in that regard.
Yeah, Kayla, go right ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, you mean my whole reasoning of why I restocked my bar is because the coronavirus has to infect via the bloodstream, correct?
Yes.
So, if my bloodstream is flooded with so much alcohol, the coronavirus is going to get drunk and therefore cannot find me.
Perfect.
And that sounds like a good plan.
That's what everyone else is doing. That's why people have been out all weekend.
Yeah. 6 months.
I mean, lucky for fucking you. I've had to go back to fucking work. And the irritating thing is the amount of people that have come in wearing their masks, they have it over their face quite the thing, and then the moment they get to you, up close and personal with you, it's...
Okay.
Yeah, they take their mask off and start breathing their fucking germs at you. It's like... Thanks.
It's just called project your voice. I mean, as small as I am, I can project my voice enough through.
Yeah, exactly. I can project my voice really well. But anyway, with that, we hope you have a lovely rest of your night, and we hope you enjoy your coming week. I will hopefully see you at some point during the week, because I might be doing a scary stream one day. I'm going to be downloading a mod which will allow me to play Alien Isolation in VR.
Oh, tell me how you get that working.
Oh, don't do it, man. It's terrifying. I'm just sitting in a locker for 5 minutes.
We'll see how it goes. Alien Isolation is a really good game. I'm going to have the noise detection active as well, so the alien can hear me as I'm talking to people and stuff like that. And we'll see how it goes. But hopefully that will be a thing over the at some point during the week. Thursday is my day off, so maybe some point on Thursday if we don't have your game going, Adam. Thursday's happening. All right, cool. Maybe during the day then, because I will have the nice big black box over my head. So we'll figure it out. But anyway, with that, we are going to call an end to the session here. You all enjoy, lovely people, enjoy the rest of your evening and your week, and we will see you again next time. Bye.